Okay, we are live. This is AGN Live, and we are in amazing Tampa, Florida for SOF Week. This stream is sponsored by Victus Technologies. I've got Jesse, the CEO, with us. By the way, your name is still like in my top 10 for
Winning.
Autonomy Global
Winning.
search. Hashtag winning.
Sounds like winning.
So anyway, Jesse, tell them about yourself first.
Yeah, awesome. So Don, good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're down here. First time Victus had a booth. Build contested autonomy to allow any system from orbit down to seabed to operate without GPS in any kind of environment. Expanding on the contracts we already have with SOCOM. SOCOM's a great partner. It's good to be here.
It's amazing to be here. So you talked about your company a little bit. So first of all, this isn't your first rodeo because you were Special Ops Forces at one point in your career. Let's not forget that. So what's it like coming back now to this community kind of on the flip side?
Well, first you get to see who kept themselves in shape. So that's
There's
fun,
that.
right? There's that. But it's great. Like SOF Week is, I describe SOF Week as one, it's kind of like a Woodstock because we get to all kind of see each other and see what they've been working on for the last couple of years. It's amazing how many people you see that transition from uniform to the polo, sometimes back to uniform, and then back to the polo. There's just a common unifying theme here. The one thing you'd see everywhere from our little booth to the big booths anywhere else is that support American warfighters. And how do we do that? And that's so it's just a cool community to be around.
Absolutely. So as you're walking the floor, and I know you have a booth, so sometimes you get tied to that. But as you're walking around, like what's jumping out at you like this year in terms of like, in other words, if someone's watching this and they're not here, what would you say are like maybe the 3 hottest topics?
I saw this last year and it's accelerated this year. I mean, the amount of just autonomous systems
100%.
of drones, of USVs, of AUVs, of UGVs it's just starting to permeate. Now, we saw like a hint of this. If you're on the conference circuit here, you see other conferences, you start to see this one. It really has hit SOF Week this year.
Absolutely.
So, like there is zero question just from the data point of what is at SOF Week right now, that this is like the age of AI and autonomy and robotics.
Okay, you just did the 3. AI, autonomy, robotics. Interestingly, I'm not seeing like a million AI companies. You know what? Here's my thought.
Yeah.
AI is already in the vehicles. Like, in other words, if you're building a vehicle and there's no AI in it, you're already behind.
You're way behind.
Because before it was like AI companies. Now it's like AI, it's all embedded already.
No, it's all embedded.
At 100%.
The conversation we're having, and we're really involved in a lot of these conversations, is how do I merge large centralized agentic systems that Anthropic and other ones are making, along with Palantir and other systems that are being used throughout this community extensively, with the edge-based systems. So even those 3 things are actually all starting to merge together. Of AI, autonomy, and robotics. You really can't have one of those without the other 2.
Yeah. So in terms of robots, not really seeing them. The spot dog always has to be here, right? They had the little bullpen with all the dogs doing their thing, people filming. Lots of maritime. I mean, we're on the water. They're doing demos. Super cool. Just tons of drones.
Drones.
Would you agree?
Yeah, well, drones are cool. Number one.
Yeah, of course.
I agree with that. We're seeing a lot more. We use the term robotics pretty broadly.
Sure.
I see a drone as like a flying robot.
Oh, of course.
And if you think about it, another way to like just zoom out, what's really happening is I'm taking something like a Jetson, some kind of like edge-based system. And then I'm putting that in something in the physical world.
Right.
It might fly. It might float. It might walk. It might do your laundry. It might do something else. But we're definitely seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of benefits of having a drone or a robot that can fly. So I think, air gives you access to everything, right? The Earth is 70% water, but it's 100% covered in air.
True.
So if you build drones, that gives you a capability to go on the physics side kind of anywhere. So we've spent, even though our technology applies across domains, we spent a large amount of time on the drone space because of that. Because if you get contested autonomy done right in the drone space, that lets you access Taiwan, Strait of Hormuz, Donbass, all those areas, even though they have very different terrain.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so tell everybody how they can reach you and learn more.
Okay, yeah, so brand new website. We just actually redid this, refactored everything, so it's pretty awesome. Check it out. getvictus.ai, and that will tell you really everything you need to know. And then reach out. There's points of contact to reach out. If you're anywhere in the drone space or any kind of unmanned system space, and you need your device to work without GPS, that's what we're there to solve for you.
There you go. And we had Jesse on the Dawn of Autonomy back in February, so check that out. We've written articles about Victus on Autonomy Global, so check all that out if you want to learn more, in addition to checking out their website. So thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you.
All right. We got to grab another person. We are actually in a hotel room right now, hot swapping people out, so we get the second person. I think it's going to be John McHale from Military Embedded Systems magazine. Now, John is, Military Embedded Systems magazine is the official publication of this event, quite frankly. Come on down, John. Have a seat. Just come on in to the screen. So, John and I go like way back. Actually, we didn't even know each other at University of Scranton, where we both attended together, and we figured that out later. But tell them a little bit about your magazine and kind of why you guys are so involved in SOF Week.
Sure. We are the official Show Daily sponsor. We also produce the show guide for the event, and the Show Daily comes out twice a day. It's a newsletter that goes to every single attendee. My day job is editor-in-chief of Military Embedded Systems, and this is our 4th year doing the Show Daily for SOF Week and the Global SOF Foundation.
I love that, and it's a great, by the way, daily that they put out. So here's my question to you. You've been covering this show for a while. What do you think is so different about this year compared to even just last year?
Well, you just look at Admiral Bradley's keynote this morning, where he talked about how the seizure of Maduro in Venezuela was a turning point for this, shows what SOF can do, and another example of the SOF success and what they can accomplish, and how important they are to today's battlefields and today's missions. You can't conduct a mission today without the use of special operations forces, at least for the U.S. And I think what we're seeing too, and this has been going the last couple of years, is the growing use of artificial intelligence solutions and autonomous systems. Those are the fastest growing areas of technology on the exhibit floor. And also, it comes down to information dominance and trust dominance too. Trusting the stuff you're getting, knowing the stuff is secure, and dominating the information battlefield, and getting that sensor and an ISR, intelligence surveillance reconnaissance data, to the operators in real time. Yeah,
look, John, the sensors are out there, the data's out there. Of course, it's what do you do with that data, right? So we are seeing a lot of those type of companies. But I'll tell you what, I feel like this show is super hardware heavy. And oh, by the way, I saw a flying man this morning. Literally Iron Man. Like, I'm going to be putting that on a reel, everybody. So follow me on LinkedIn. That's going up for sure this weekend. But I was like, holy shnikes, right? Just the technology here is incredible.
Wait, Dawn, you're a media. You got to get a media ride, be the flying reporter. That's what you need to do next.
First of all, you don't even want me flying a drone. I got my license, and it's like, I couldn't see it. I'm like, all right, handing the thing on. I'm like, you do not want me flying a drone. You definitely don't want me in some kind of an exoskeleton that flies. That would be a dangerous day for everybody. But tell everybody how they can learn more about your magazine and follow Military Embedded Systems.
Sure, just go to militaryembedded.com, and if you're an attendee at SOF Week this week, you'll get our newsletter every day in your inbox, twice a day.
Woohoo! And if not, then what?
If you don't get it in the inbox, if you're not at SOF Week, just go to militaryembedded.com, and you'll learn more about everything we do.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, John, well, thank you so much. I know you're super busy. You got a lot of interviews to conduct and videos to make. Let's get the next person and maybe tee up the next person behind that in the queue right in the room, if you don't mind. All right. As we're bringing them in, I believe, bye, John. I think our number 3 person on deck here is going to be, drum roll, please. Who do we got coming on down? It's like the magical door. Kraken, unleash the Kraken. So come on in, grab the mic and sit on down. All right, so maritime technology, USVs, are all the rage this year. I mean, we are on the water. Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name's Luke Gobel, and I'm the Director of Strategy and Growth at Kraken Technologies.
An amazing accent, of course. To go along with that wild vehicle that you had, I saw the demo this morning. So tell everybody about the Kraken.
So Kraken is a maritime defense technology company. We're founded on a strong history of offshore racing. And right now we're building and delivering modular, scalable and affordable technologies, unmanned technologies for NATO. Okay,
so that vehicle, it's big. All right, so just so you know, this isn't
That's
like
our small one.
That was your small one?
That's our small one.
All right, so first of all, tell everybody the small one, like how actually large it is.
So the K3 Scout's our flagship product. She can do 28 to 30 knots, carrying 600 kilograms in a Sea State 4 for about 650 nautical miles.
Wow. And autonomy, tell everybody about that.
So everything you see out there is autonomous with us. There's no man driving behind the scenes. We've got integrated payloads, integrated capabilities to meet the needs of the warfighter. The navies have spoken, technology is coming on, and we're responding.
Okay, the navies have spoken. You heard it here, everybody. Okay, so in terms of what you've been doing, right, over time, you've been building this incredible vehicle. The demand signal, you said the navies have spoken. Are you seeing an even larger surge in demand for autonomy? In other words, let's take the sailors off the boat.
Yes.
And what kinds of missions, like, in other words, to keep those sailors safe, what kinds of missions would, like, the vehicle you're talking about, what would it do?
We can do everything, and we can help our end users to do everything. The middle of our boat is a modular payload bay. You can replace that, you can take them out, you can put new ones in. So we can do missions ranging from ISR and surveillance through to land attack to ship attack and everything in between.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So what are you the most excited about when it comes to this show?
It's amazing to be here. The ecosystem is alive and energetic. What we're seeing is autonomy is taking hold. Everything here is unmanned. We don't see many manned technologies anymore. So as I say, we've responded. Technology's coming on and the industry is responding. We can build 200 to 500 boats a year depending on demand. So we're building that scalable supply chain resilience as well.
Amazing. Well, how do people learn more about what you're doing?
You can see us every morning, 9:05 to 9:25 on the waterfront, or you can come and find us inside the UK MOD pavilion. It'd be exciting to meet you and chat about the opportunities.
And for those that actually aren't here, how do they learn more?
You can go on our website. You can find us on socials, on LinkedIn in particular, www.krakentechnology.com. You can reach out through there and we'll get in touch.
Unleash the Kraken. I actually wrote an article about this vehicle last year because I thought it was so incredibly cool. So check that out on Autonomy Global. It is still there, of course. And thank you so much, Luke. Really appreciate you. All right, I'm going to grab that mic. And if you could get the next two people, so we can queue up one in the room, get this going. So it's been an amazing show, everybody. And it keeps getting better and better. And we've got our good friend Mario coming on down from Anello Photonics. So Mario and his team had an amazing party last night down there over here. And I'm going to give you the mic, and you are going to come on in close to me. Okay, so amazing party. They've got a booth in Accelerator Alley over in the Waterfront Marriott. And and by the way, Mario is going to be on the Dawn of Autonomy next week. So check that out on Wednesday morning. But in the meantime, very briefly, tell them who you are and why you're here, and keep that up. Yep.
Hi, my name is Mario Panici. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Anello Photonics. We build the world's smallest optical gyro, which we call SciFog. It's for basically GPS-denied navigation. So we are size, weight, area, power. We're in autonomous drones, autonomous boats, USVs, UGVs, and underwater vessels.
Everywhere. These guys are everywhere, and I know they're swarming your booth here.
Yes.
They are. I mean, they are, right?
I came by this morning.
I did come by this morning. I could barely talk to the guy.
8:55, and it was nonstop. I just ran away for this, and it's been nonstop. So we haven't even eaten, the whole crew.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did shovel something into my pie hole right before this, but fun fact. But speaking of which, if you're here, Taco Truck, 4 o'clock, you guys are co-sponsoring that.
Yes, with Firestorm. Come by. It's across from... I can look at
the convention center, I think.
It's a block
right
down from the convention center.
Yeah.
Tacos and drinks, 4 to 6 p.m. with Firestorm.
That's the thing. You can't shake a stick without finding another party around here. So that's pretty cool too. But besides all the parties and the swarms around your booth, from your perspective, what's kind of the most memorable thing you think, as 2 days from now when you walk away, what's your biggest takeaway?
I think the big thing is that autonomy's here.
Autonomy is here.
Right?
Woo!
It's kind of no confusion anymore, right?
Yeah.
You walk back behind the convention center, you see all the boats now and all the USVs. I have a friend who's a good friend here. He lives here, and he has a place on the island here, and he says, "Where this thing?" And he sends me a picture of a boat going by his backyard. And he
with nobody in it.
Going on it.
Yeah,
I said, Jason, we're in that boat, right? This is one of our, he said, really?
That's a good point. So Anello is inside a lot of these vehicles. They can't talk about all their partners, but like you said, Vatten is here. I know that was a press release, so I can say that publicly.
So we're in the GARC, which is the Black Sea. That's public. We are with Havoc is another one, and there's 4 or 5 other ones. The one that just left, we're testing with.
Yeah.
But look, I think it was just funny for hearing from him. Yeah. He's a race car driver. He has a boat, but for him, it was like he sends me a picture from his backyard, and he's like, "There's no one in here, right?"
Yeah.
So to him, he didn't understand this whole autonomous.
Well, I'll tell you what. You tell him to go to CES and watch the Indy 500, the autonomous Indy 500.
Yeah, but you can't tell him that because he's
I know he's a race car driver.
Race car drivers need the race. But the point is, I think autonomy's here. 100%. I think the world of autonomy, the swarming of things. Yeah. And it's not just the Defense Department. You see a lot of defense stuff, but it's USVs, it's unmanned underwater vessels, it's drones.
All of
and the
above.
Next one that's coming, I think, is that you see some people coming next in here, the UGVs, the ground vehicles.
Yes.
I think it started with ground vehicles.
Yep.
And now ground vehicles are coming back. I think the drones and the autonomous boats have come up, but I just think it's finally here.
Yes.
And now it's the number of vessels coming, the number of companies doing this, and the tech that's involved. And obviously, from Anello's perspective, we want to be the picks and shovels for the gold rush. We're going to be in every autonomous vehicles. We're the core navigation solution, and love to talk to more customers. We're here. We're meeting new customers as we speak.
And tell them how to reach you if they're not here.
So AnelloPhotonics.com. Go online. There's all our spec sheets, but more importantly, there's an info@AnelloPhotonics.com. Tell us what your use case is. Tell what your problem is. And we're here to solve problems and bring autonomous navigation to the mass market.
There you go. Amen, my friend.
What does Anello mean?
A ring.
In Italian.
In Italian.
Yes.
See,
I
do remember things.
Ciao.
Sometimes. Ciao. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella.
Bring in the next person. Okay, this is all a mystery to me. Who's going to walk out of this door? Who's going to walk in the door? So this is super fun right now. Here we go. We have, let's see, who do we have? Over here.
Come on in.
Yes. Grab the mic. Take a seat.
Hi, Don.
Hi. Hello. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Dr. James Kroll, founder and CEO of Crow Industries.
Crow Industries. Okay, so tell everybody what Crow Industries does.
So we build robotic ground vehicles, unmanned ground vehicles, UGVs, for the battle space, so Group 2 specifically.
Okay, so I mean, when I think of Group 2, I think of drones, right? Mm-hmm. So like when you say Group 2 for ground vehicles, like what size are we talking really?
So roughly the size of a golf cart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of missions, like what are these used for?
Everything from contested logistics and casualty evacuation all the way to deploying weapon systems and one-way kinetic strike.
And did I hear you say autonomous?
Autonomous capable.
Autonomous capable.
Yes.
All right.
So if the warfighter wants it to be autonomous, then we do that. If they want it teleop, we can do that too. Usually it's a combination of both.
Okay, so interesting. So I'm just spitballing here. Do you guys have like kind of multimodal, like do you like connect to drones or do you connect to other things like maritime vehicles with your ground vehicles, or can you?
Exactly, yes. So multi-domain swarms is really what is the future of unmanned warfare.
Yes.
And so that's what we're seeing right now.
Wow. Okay, speaking of what we're seeing, you've been walking the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your impression?
I mean, you're seeing more and more unmanned systems everywhere. So not just aerial and maritime, but you're seeing more UGVs as well.
Yes, we were talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so the UGVs are growing more and more, and so we feel like we're in a really exciting space because we have a soldier-validated Group 2 UGV that is ready to scale, and that's another thing we're seeing is like it's not just about having really cool tech. Yeah. It's about being able to scale and build thousands of them.
And you could do that?
Yes, we can.
So where are you guys located?
We're in Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. I love that. Okay, I'm in Colorado, so we're not too
neighbors,
far.
yeah.
Almost neighbors. Yeah. Very good. So, what else do you want to tell them before you head out? And please also include like how they can learn more about Crow Industries.
Yeah, you can go to crowindustriesinc.com or find us on LinkedIn. And we have a credo with SOCOM S&T, and we're looking for additional partners for that through SOCOM.
Well, you heard it here first. Looking for additional partners, so reach out.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. It was awesome to meet you.
Likewise.
All right, so let's bring on down. I'm not entirely sure. Come on in. Okay, here we go, Katie Inman. I've got your mic right here, my friend. So Katie is with HK Law, Holland and Knight. and was just part. Move on in, and I'm going to ask you to speak loudly because we have maybe some person that wasn't. Just yell like me. Katie was just part of our Law Tech Connect at Exponential, and I can't believe it was last week. I feel like it was a million years ago. So tell everybody about your practice area at Holland & Knight Law Firm, and why are you here?
Thank you. It's so great to be here. So I'm here because I help clients with dual-use technologies and the latest updates in the law, and there are quite a few. We know for counter UAS, we've got the Safer Skies Act. We know for critical infrastructure, we just saw the FAA propose a rule on that called 2209. So, Dawn, as you know, there's a lot to think about with drones specifically, but then other solutions as well. I do some work with some clients in space law as well as advanced air mobility. So a lot to think about, a lot of government contracting, new procurement mechanisms and whatnot. Their government's keeping us busy. So, it's in a good way. So I help clients with compliance and with just doing business with the government.
All right. So speaking of doing business, you're walking the floor, target-rich environment. What are you seeing in terms of, hey, here's some groups and maybe they don't know X? Because honestly, Katie, as I'm walking around, I see a lot of foreign pavilions, right? I saw Norway. I went to Norway's party last night. I saw Denmark. I saw UK, right? The list goes on. And I'm wondering, do they realize a lot of their technology may be on that FCC covered list?
That's a great question.
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, and the FCC covered list means that you are ineligible. If you are listed on the list, you are ineligible for an equipment authorization from the FCC, which is necessary for new products that are coming in if you want to market, import, or use a product. And it's a radio frequency device. You must have an equipment authorization on it, even if you're just going to operate it inside.
And we're not just talking like counter drones. So like drones, like almost everything emits RF. So just to be clear, everybody, have a great article on the website about this. We talked about this at Law Tech Connect, more info coming out. I just saw something actually about maybe an amendment or the FCC added more waivers or exemptions or something. Can you just very, very, very briefly tell them like what the new additions are to that?
Well, little by little, the FCC has been granting conditional approval for certain specific machines. Foreign-made routers are also now on the covered list in addition to foreign-made UAS or foreign-made critical components.
Okay.
So that came out late last week, but prior to that, just a few days prior to it, FCC issued a notice about just barely budging a little bit on how firmware and software updates might be okay as long as you've got a specific purpose, and they also, that's called a waiver from the covered list determination, and they extended the timeline on that. So instead of the waiver sunsetting at the end of the calendar year, you've now got a few more months. If you need to do a software or firmware update to your drone, it might not immediately require a new equipment authorization, is what that means.
Okay. So if you're listening and you have no idea what she's talking about, you're already behind the power curve. Okay. So check out Autonomy Global, some of the information on there. Watch our Law Tech Connects online because we are covering this. And of course, reach out to Katie. So tell everybody how they can learn more about your practice and how they can reach you if they have questions.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much. Yes, Katie Inmond at Holland & Knight. I love LinkedIn, and I do a lot on LinkedIn. Anytime not all the time, but whenever there's a really specific update or something that I think people might, miss, or something that's worthwhile and really worth noting, I try to note that on LinkedIn. But also just my firm website, hklaw.com. I have a page on there, and I push out articles, almost like a blog. So I do try to provide content on all the latest updates that would be helpful to people.
All right, perfect. Well, you heard some of it here and probably some of it here first. So keep reading and learning and check out Katie and her blog. Katie, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate
you. Thanks so much.
Yay.
Great to be here.
All right, next we got Dr. Brandy Hill. She is coming down from Black River Systems. Now, I met this company at, come on over, the Drone Responders National Conference, which was in Williamsburg back in March. Counter UAS caught my eye, at least the one thing that you were really focused on there. So tell everybody about your company and what you do.
Surely. Well, thank you so much for letting me come here today. So as you said, Dr. Brandy Hill, I'm the Customer Experience Manager with Black River Systems Company out of Utica, New York. So we are a small business, but we have a very large background. So we've been in emerging signals for over 30 years. From there, we obviously emerged right into counter UAS. So we are very excited. We have over 600 systems globally. We've been doing it, like I said, for over 10 years. So tried and true.
This is the company that's everywhere that you never heard of, but now you've heard of them, and we have an article, I believe, coming out. If it didn't come out already, it's coming out this week about some of their technologies. Lots going on over at Black River Systems, and you're here. Obviously, this is your crowd. Besides public safety, right? These are the groups of people that would really benefit from your technologies. As you're walking around, what's kind of jumping out at you in terms of like trends, what you're seeing?
Yeah, so it really looks to me like everybody is going after the same thing I was believing. Which is counter UAS on the move.
Okay, there you go.
And so that's exactly the topic of our article this month in Autonomy Global. So counter UAS on the move, we have Ninja Shield Plus and Ninja Dismount. Those are two product lines that you can actually merge together and make that convoy even safer.
Amazing. Everybody before you said autonomy. So you're like counter UAS, and that's okay because that is something that is obviously all over the floor as well.
Yes.
And some of these systems have AI in them, right? Mm-hmm. And some of them are semi-autonomous, would you say?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. So the trends continue. Counter UAS is one of the many things we're seeing out there. Yeah. So what are you the most excited about?
So I really am very excited about the collaboration you're seeing on the floor. All of the partner vendors are really coming together and trying to make exactly what the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, said, and that's bring me a solution that everyone can use and everyone can see the same thing. And so I'm very excited that we and our partners are doing exactly that today.
Awesome, awesome. So how, besides the article, right, and your website, how else can they learn more about Black River Systems?
Yeah, so I would love if you reached out to me. It's bhill@brsc.com, or you can go out to our website and hit the contact info link, and that will come to me as well.
All right, yay. All right, more to follow. You're going to learn more about these folks in the coming months, so stay tuned. Follow Autonomy Global if you're not. And thank you so much, Dr. Hill, for joining us. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, Dawn.
And I'm going to give you your battery pack back, too, because you're the best. I'm going to grab that mic. All right, I think we have maybe last, but certainly not least, my good friend and yours. If you've been around this industry for a little while, you know this lady. Her name is Lori DeMatteis, and she over here, I got it for you. And she is now with a company called Sapphire. So, Lori, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dawn, and it's a pleasure to be here and say hello to everybody and wish you were here if you're not.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip this for you so it's like better.
Okay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right, so tell everybody like what your company does and like why you guys are at SOF Week.
So we actually have changing the battlefield. We believe that the battlefield is not about all the ammunition, but the battlefield is about energy. And of course, as everybody's been talking about, the new ha-ha is everything is autonomous here. It isn't the big, huge, hardware.
Yeah.
It is the small hardware. It is how things are running autonomously. And so with that, you need to be able to manage your battery usage. You need to be able to know at the given second what's happening on your energy. So that's what we're doing. And then we have our batteries that go from -70 to +70.
Okay, I'm laughing right now because literally my producer has been texting me like, did you plug your battery in? Because I can see it's going down. And the people watching this might be able to see it at the same time. So I need your technology, my friend. But clearly that's important, right? And there's so many different kinds of batteries. We just featured Tulip Tech recently. They're making custom batteries out of the Netherlands. But so this is not your first time here.
No, well, yes, it is. And
really?
Yes. And
oh my gosh, Lori. So tell everybody what you think.
So I have to tell you, if you are a small business, what has been so impressive is how the procurement teams and the PEO teams are accessible, and you are able to fit in where you fit in, and they are determined to make sure that you can be successful. I have not seen this in any of the other services. I have not seen this at any of the other shows. And so if you are a small business and not here, you have just missed out. They have just announced $2 trillion in the next 18 months on just the PEO services line alone. And I'm watching the deals getting done. I'm watching the people discussing. So really, honestly, this is where you should be if you have the one last dollar to spend.
Oh my goodness gracious. So, trillion. 2 trillion with a TR. Holy schnikes. So they do have a PEO row, like with offices where, like Lori said, you could walk down and like have meetings with people, which I agree, that kind of accessibility you just really don't see anywhere else. Special ops forces are really, I mean, they're special for a reason, right? That's their the first word of their name. You know, so they have really interesting authorities. They are, I'd say, leading edge in terms of technology and being the first, first out to use something.
Yes.
You know, so amazing. So great advice to the crowd. If you're not here this year, don't worry. You can come next year. It's always in Tampa, and I think it's going to be in early May next year. I feel like it's 3 to 7. It's worth every second of your time.
But people are here to help you and support your business. And they give you overviews, they give you directions, and then as Dawn just said, they allow you to meet one-on-one.
Yeah. So tell people how they can find you again.
Come find
and learn
me on
more.
LinkedIn, Lori DeMatteis, DeMatteis, and then I can get you over to our company and my team, which is a little bit easier than trying to remember all that. So just come over, come find me on LinkedIn, and then I'll get you over to the right folks.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my friend. It is always so great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Thank you, Dawn, for everything you do for the industry.
Oh, thank you. I'm going
you.
to grab that mic so you don't take it with you, because people do. And all right, I'll see you on the floor, I'm sure, again. All right, everybody, that is all she wrote, I believe. There's nobody else out there, right, Lori? Okay, because I'm looking at a closed door and I really don't know. But thank you all for watching. Thank you, Victus Technologies, for sponsoring this. Thank you, whoever's room this was that let us use it, because apparently you can't live stream on the floor here. It's too sensitive. It's all good. We still came at you live, and that's all she wrote for today. We are out here.